Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll get started. I hope you can understand my Australian accent. I know some have difficulties, so I'll try to speak a bit slower. Some of you would have come to the first class. I'm actually going to do this a bit different this time because I've had a lot of feedback about what people are doing and what they're trying to do, and what I've realised, a lot of people have got single coloured strings and are now getting into RGB. So put your hands up if you're basically in that situation. Most of you in that situation. So I'm going to show you how you can use your single coloured strings and your RGB stuff all together seamlessly. So that's one of the things that most people haven't actually realised. It's a very, very powerful way to use Lightshow Pro. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through it, start up the sequence from scratch. What I'll do is I'll just create two trees. I'm going to create an RGB tree. I'm going to create a three-coloured tree, a red, green and blue tree. And show you how they work and how we can use those together. And we'll go through that way. Okay? As well, at the end of this, we'll be giving away two of these controllers as a prize. As well as we have a $100 discount on Lightshow Pro. So if you're interested in purchasing Lightshow Pro for during the period of the convention, or within the next couple of days, we are going to have a thread up in the Lightshow Pro forums, and you can put your name there, your email information, and we'll get that organised. We have come up with a list of names as well that people have done, and we're going to add those as well. So if you've already got your name down on that list, that's fine. But if you haven't put your name on the list, you can go to Lightshow Pro forum and register that way and take advantage of the $100 discount. So, we've got Lightshow Pro open here, and I'm going to start my sequence. So, what I'm going to do is, how many of these people are Light-O-Rama users? Alright, so we'll focus a bit on that as well. A lot of you will be Light-O-Rama users, some of you will be starting to convert over to E1.31 or DMX. So we'll work on that because I want to focus on what most of the crowd and what most of the people are actually trying to look at and do. So what we'll do is we'll start off with creating a controller. You have a bunch of controllers here, and it really doesn't matter what controller you use. A controller can be converted to anything you want. So I'm going to use a minion controller. Drag that in. And that's why I'm going to create a new media sequence. So I'm going to create a media sequence. I'm just going to pick any song, it really doesn't matter for this example. But I'll use there you got this. So I've just entered the multimedia file with the music. You've got this configuration screen that starts. You can put your detail in there if you wish. So we've got our song that we've chosen. Now we can, we've got this next screen that comes. Now if I had a previously created sequence, I could load those default controls I've already created, the drawings that I've already created, and the layers that I've already created. Now layers will go into a bit later because some of you might not know what I mean by layers. So I can then click on there and I can go look for and I can use that sequence, any of those sequences, and drag in channel configuration and not have to redo it again. We've got intervals here. We can create different types of intervals. Some people like to just create intervals on a grid. I personally don't care about having intervals at the beginning of my sequence. I mean, I'll put a 1 second interval, that's okay, that's enough to really have at the moment, because what you find out is you create a lot of your own intervals, and a lot of times you don't need to even create intervals yourself, they'll automatically be created. You can add symbol intervals, you can add intervals based on music. You can create custom intervals. So straight off the bat, there's a few ways to create intervals into your sequence. So I'm just going to use the 1 second plain interval. You can use voiceovers. So we've got a bunch of voiceovers here that are built into the program. Right. We don't have the sound hooked up at the moment, so what I'll do is I'll just check and see why. We don't have audio. I don't think it's really going to matter having audio anyway. I'm not actually going to be sequencing anything exactly to the beat and things like that because I don't have time, I've got a lot to go through. So, but you've got the voiceovers, you can choose here, the default voiceovers. You could actually go to that folder that those voiceovers within the Lightshow Pro folder and you add your own voiceovers if you wish. The way I normally add my voiceovers is I'll create my own sequence and just use that as a voiceover with some patterns in there. So I don't want any voiceovers. So now I get to put my image of my house in there if I wish. What I'm going to do is get rid of that image because I just want a blank screen at the moment because I'm going to draw two trees. So I'm going to load. Actually, I don't know if I've made one yet for that. I'll have a look.
Eddie, is it okay if I ask a question now?
You go for it.
If you have scrolling text, do you have the ability to change the scrolling text on the fly as the program is running? So if I'm out on the street and I'm talking to a little girl, her name is Susie Smith, and I'm dressed as Santa Claus, I would like it to say, Merry Christmas, Susie Smith.
No,
you don't have that capability.
No, you can't change on the fly.
Okay.
So I just wanted a black image here. You can create your own black image. So what I'm actually going to do is I want to show you a way of what I do anyway. So see all these images I've got here? All these images I've actually created myself. I actually use the Lightshow Pro. So I'm going to create an image anyway, using Microsoft Word. This is not my computer, mind you, so it's work out where I'm going on this. Has he got Microsoft Word here? Right. I thought he said he did. Doesn't really matter.
Look on the desktop and see if it's there.
What was that?
Look on the desktop and just see if it's there on the desktop.
Right, click the start bar.
Yeah.
So you can also type the word.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he had. I'm sure he had Microsoft Word on this.
Right there. Copy word.
Search word.
This is the word.
You didn't have it on this Word doc?
No, he doesn't have it. I'm sure he had it. I don't know what happened to it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, I'll just start that again. New media sequence. Load that song again. Times like this, I wish I just was using my own computer. But I just don't know that. I don't know.
Can we get clear?
You know what? I've never used Clear. Yeah, you taught me something. Always learning something, I must say. I'm always learning something with Lightshow Pro. It is a very in-depth program. There's so many things to do here, but that's exactly what it is. Just Clear. Simple, isn't it? Sometimes I look harder than what it is. So that's creating a sequence ready to drag and control it. Drag it in. So I just use the MIDI controller. I'm going to set that up as my first MIDI tree, or my first MIDI tree. But I'm going to set up, so I'm going to say I've got 16 channels. I'm going to use 16 channels of green strings, 16 channels of red strings, 16 channels of blue strings. So we get this controller here. Well, it's a lot of Rama controller, okay? So I'm going to go to LOI here. So we can select any of those different protocols to turn it into anything. So you've got all that there. There's a lot of different communications we can use. So for this we're going to use light around. Still in the RGB because at the moment it's saying it is an RGB light controller. So I'm just going to leave that at the moment and I'm going to change that because light around controller is a light controller. So now I'm converting, so I'm just converting it from anything because these default controllers, a lot of times when some of the new controls are coming out, you don't see the default controller there. But it doesn't matter because it's really just something to sort of just make it quick for you, but you can create it here. The way I do is I create it as elements. Now a lot of people sequence in controllers. Well, I think in more as elements. Because elements is much easier to manage and work with and you can visualise your elements. It's harder to visualise controllers. So I'm now going to call this Mega Tree Green. And it is controller 1 on the LRI network 1 and it's a 16 channel controller. So that's pretty much ready to go. There it is. Right? But what I should have done, which is silly of me, is it's because it's green, I want to make it actually green in my display preview there. Then I'm going to then copy that controller because I want to reuse that another 2 times, but I don't have to go through and reset that up like that. So I can clone that controller, or I can add that controller to the library. So I'm going to add that to my library. And there's my controller there, Mega Tree Green. I'm just going to drag that into here now. There it is. But I'm going to call this one Red now. Now I'll change that colour too because I want to show it's red. So but it's going to be my controller ID 2 because it's my second LRI controller. So everything's right there now, so I'm happy with that. And now my blue. And that's going to be controller 3. So I'm happy with that now. So I've got my red, green and blue. Now I want to define, I'm going to draw those channels in my grid. So I'm going to go right mouse click here. And because it's 3 different colours, and I want to utilise the power of, because I'm using a mega tree. So I want to have the ability for my tree to either just wipe across and have the back and front wipe across together, or treat it as a round matrix basically. So I'm going to create that as, and I'll create the drawing here, so I'm going to draw the channel for that. So this is the drawing tool here. So we've got a whole bunch of things here we can do. So I'm going to choose the tree here. I'll create the tree, whoops, I'll put that to the side. So I'm going to start up here, that tree here. And I'm going to split that item across multiple channels because I've got 16 strings I want to use, so that's multiple strings I want to use. So I'm then presented with this screen here, and it says what are the start channels and what are the end channels? Well, I'm drawing the green first, so I'm going to go from 1, and I'm going to go back here to channel 16 green. I've got this option here, multi-pixel per channel selection, or single pixel per channel selection. Because I'm only using one string per, or one channel per string, not pixels where it's multiple channels per string, I'm going to use the multi-pixel per channel selection. So this will draw a string. Now if I drew it as single pixel per channel, it's just going to draw the dots because it's only one channel per line, per string. So we use this for a non-RGB tree. Then I'm given this screen here. How's my tree done? Well, it was one channel per string. Its number of strings I've got is 16. What pattern is? It's just straight up. And the rotation is clockwise. So it says now the matrix mask was greater than say for the tree matrix. We'll use that a bit later. So I'm going to draw another tree on top of that for my next colours trees. I might get a bit better than that. Just draw it over the top. Because I'm representing each colour in the display. Because I want to be able to get the best of both worlds. I want to be able to treat it as sweeps across. So when I evolve my whole display, I can treat that tree within my display and use the other advantages that Lightshade Pro has that I'll be showing you a bit later. So this is why I'm drawing it as a 3 layers in one tree here. And when I draw the next tree, which is going to be RGB, I'll show you how it's different in that aspect. So again, we split that, but this time we are starting from the red. Again, it's all the same, multi-pixel, exactly the same. Channels per string, 1, 16, pattern C. So it's done another matrix for that. Now I'm going to draw it one more time for the last colour. Something like that.
Can you copy and paste it item?
You're talking about different items here,
Right, could you just copy that tree and repaste it?
but it's going to be related to the channel range that's already
Right,
there.
then you change channels on the new one.
It's because the drawing is attached, that drawing was attached to those channels.
Right.
So if I copy it, it's attached to the same channels because I go through that process of telling it these channels are allocated. So for this, it's not a good way to copy and paste. Because then I go here, so I'm allocating the channels to that drawing now.
Right.
So if I copy that, then I'm basically just copying the same channel range. So that's blue and blue. So again, multi-pixel, we're happy with that. Then from the bottom, 16. I'm happy with that. Again, do the matrix. So there's my tree. 3 layers, 3 drawn on top of each other, representing red, green, and blue. So this time I'm going to create another tree. And it's going to be an RGB tree this time. So again, I will just drag in any control I find here. And it's going to be E1.31 this one. A lot of you are going to have both LOR and E1.31. It would help if I pick the right one because we're not using radar. Now we'll just make that yellow. Alright, so it's an RGB light controller because it's RGB this time. So RGB light controller, now combine those red, green and blue channels into one. So much easier to manipulate when we've got them together as one. My tree is going to be, what's a good number? What's a good number? Who's doing any pixel trees this year? How many strings are you using? 10 strings?
36.
36. I want a good number. 36 by 50. That sounds good. What we might do is just do 16 by 50, just so, because when you generate your effects as well, you know, it does. So I just want to speed the process up. So what I'll do is say 16 by 50. So 16 by 50 is what's that? 800, isn't it? Okay, so that's how my tree, it's C1.4, and so you don't have to worry about the channel ID here, controller ID, because we're in 1.0, it's only really LOR that talks about controller IDs. So I'm happy with that, the way that's set up, but what I might do is I can go in here, and say if my strings, if I'm using a controller, my RGB strings that come in, and when I plug them in, they're not actually RGB. The orientation is BGR, and that happens all the time. Very rarely you actually get RGB. You can change the orientation here if you want, and convert it to BGR, or any of these other combinations here. So it allows you to change the RGB orientation, so when it's represented on your, when you see it light up in the display, you're not got blue that's red and red that's blue. You can actually have the right combination. Controls, a lot of the controllers nowadays allow you to do that at the controller level as well. But there's some controllers that don't allow you to do that. So that option's there to change the orientation very easily. You know, especially if you're using, like I do, I use my LOR CCR controllers, and I use them in DMX mode. And CCRs aren't RGB. They're a different orientation. If I can remember, they're GBR. So for me to use my CCRs and DMX, I just go, because I can't change it at the hardware level, so I change it to software level to GBR, and it all works beautifully there. I can say, what start channel do I want to start it? We can start at channel 1, but I'm just going to say 500. Well, let's go 10,000. It doesn't matter. I just want my channel range, because it's the channel and then channel range. There we go. So I'm happy with that now, with my RGB controller. But I'm not going to, would you like to configure each of the 8 channels? No, I don't want to do each channel individually, configure each channel. That's going to take me ages. No. There we are. Done. Our RGB tree is now created. Now we're going to draw that RGB tree. And we'll put it over here. And we're going to again split over multiple items. But this time we're going to select single pixel per selection, because it's a pixel tree this time, and every dot we want to represent as being an individual pixel. And we want to get our channel range for that set. My RGB tree starts here. And it finishes there with my RGB tree. If I want to rename each channel as well, I can just say I want to rename that to RGB, and it's going to rename those channels for me as well. So, it was a 50, because we're talking about RGB channels now, not single channels, so it's 50 RGB channels, 150 single channels, and 50 RGB channels by 16. Now, if I actually said by 17 or by 15, it's actually going to tell me, hang on, you've defined that as being 800 channels, but you're not using 800 channels for that element. So it's not right. So you've got to make sure you get your configuration right with your numbers. I'm going to have it fed from the bottom and zigzag. So I'm going to have one string go up and one string go down. So instead of having just using one output per string, I want to use 2 outputs per string in my configuration, my hardware. That's how I've done my tree. I've just power down the bottom, comes up, drawn at the top, comes down, and inject power at the bottom of the second string. So I'm going to use pattern B for that, and I'm going to use a 3D clockwise tree. Again, it's produced another matrix for me. So there's my trees already ready to go. I'm ready to start using those. So not a very long process. We have other tools here you can use as well. So if I had a square, if I had window frames I want to do, it does the same thing for me. I can do exactly the same thing. Okay, yes, define a range, and it will tell me how many, ask me how many I want across and how many I want down. So all these tools to map your channel ranges to different elements, it's just quite easy to do. I've got, if I want to do a rope light, again, I get the same options again. So everything basically can, or draw a matrix, again, same kind of options. So you can split things over multiple items or over single items, very easily. So now I'm happy with my trees, I want to start working on those. So now I'm presented with this. What I want to do is I want to actually create some layers now, because I want to be able to treat my display as a whole element, one single element. Or I want to treat it as the individual elements. So I want to treat, I can create a layer and just say my RGB tree, create another layer and call this one my non-RGB tree. But as you see, I click that, they disappear because they're not attached to anything yet. I haven't actually said I want that attached to that or that attached to that. So I want these to be attached to my non-RGB tree. So I'm just going to highlight these three channels here, or these three controls here, because I can expand these controllers, but I might as well just expand and close and just go to these three controls. Right mouse, and I'm going to link to the non-RGB tree. Now I've got this here, selective linking. Now, say you want to, if you want to create a layer of odd and evens, or you want to have every third light, or whatever, you can say, okay, skip every end channels and link every end channel. So you basically have the ability to say, I want to skip every second channel. So you're then going to have every odd channel. If you want every even channel, you say, all right, I'm going to skip the first two channels, and then I'm going to go every second channel. So then you've got your odds and evens. So you can create odds and evens, you can create groups of threes, fours. So you have a lot of ability to create different layers to then control bits of your display and elements of your display. But at the moment, I don't want to do that. I'm just creating my layer for my non-RGB tree. So now that's disappeared because it's now linked to here. So if I just want to work with that, I don't have to show all the other stuff. I only have to show what I want to work with. So now I'm going to link my... So nothing will show at the moment for the other one because it's not linked to anything. If I created another controller or another element in my display, and I've got these layers selected, guess what? It's going to disappear. And people will think, oh, it never came, it never was built. But it is, it's just you've got to deselect your layers because it's not allocated to a layer yet. So we'll allocate that to our RGB layer now. And there we go. So now nothing's showing because I've got no layers selected. So RGB tree, or not RGB tree, but at the same time, I want to now create another layer. I have both, so I can work with both at the same time. So I have to select those layers to show both. And I'm just going to highlight those controllers, and I'm going to now link to both trees. Again, I'm not going to worry about every second channel or whatever, because I want to have the whole thing linked together. Now I can go and close these, and I click here, and there's everything there that I want. So it's easy to then, so when you get complex displays, you've got many elements, it's very hard to manage, especially RGB elements. You've got, thousands of channels. It's like, how do you get around and manage those? Well, this is the easy way, because you only have to work with what you're working with at the time. Or if you want to work with your whole display, you can group it together as a whole display. I'm only just using an example of 2 trees at the moment. So I'm happy with that, both trees are done. But now I want to go back to my individual tree, because I want to be able to say, Light Show Pro, anything that's green, when I create an effect, it'll automatically detect it as being a green string. I want Light Show Pro to know that they're green strings. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to open up this controller, select this channel range. Right mouse click, and I'm going to say change channel color. I want it to be green. Have you noticed now that that right here has just turned to green? If I go here, at the moment they're white. So they mean any colour will turn it on. Any colour will turn it on. But now what I've got is only green will turn these on. I've told Light Show Pro that I just want, because they're green strings. If I create an effect, I don't want it coming on when blue's coming on or red's coming on. I just want it to come on green because that's green. Because I'm going to have RGB elements and non-RGB elements. So when my RGB comes on with green, I want my non-RGB to come on with green at the same time without having to manually do that. So now I'm going to do the same for red. Oops, change show color, sorry. So we'll move on to red, and the last one here, we'll do the blue. So now you can see, I've set those up with red, green and blue. So now my Chapo will know if they're red, green and blue whenever I use an effect in the layers. I can still go and manipulate everything within the grid itself, but I'm lazy, I don't want to go doing the manual stuff and things like that. I want Light Show Pro to work some of this out for me. So now that's set, ready to go. But I want to do some timing marks first, maybe, just because I want to do some beat-based stuff, not just effects. I want to do some beat-based sequencing, some very tight beat-based sequencing. So I can zoom right in here, and I can look at my audio here. What I want to do is get a bit more visuals on that. And I'm going to say I want to display the low energy path, because the low energy path is another visualizer. So it shows you that as well. So it shows you where the beats are very easily. I'm going to go to the effects. I'm going to press touch mode. So what touch mode will do, I don't know if you can hear that. Soften. But what I've got is, as I scrub,
We can hear you without it. Probably better without the echo.
what's that?
We can hear you without it.
Okay. So as you can see, I'm dragging it across this plane of music as I'm dragging that across. So my first beat will start here. Bang. Myself a bit more real estate there. So I'm getting myself really precise timings here, right to the beat. I'm not relying on a pre-made timing of 25 milliseconds or whatever. I'm basing it on the music itself. Because I don't want to do that the whole way through, because I only want to do all the beat-based stuff that I want to manually work with. The effects, I don't need timing marks to really work with. So, but at the same time, I might want to work with a different element or differentiate a beat, a different piece of music in the music from the other timing marks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to make a red timing mark now. So now I've made a red timing mark. And you can choose a whole bunch of different colours. And you can select between the timing marks. So what will happen is, if I create a red timing mark there, and I'm on red, and I would say I want to go to and create an on effect. And the problem is, because of the resolution, I can't see anything that I normally would see. I'm sure that's not, is it? It says choosing colours here. There's shared. I can go, I can change those to the colour I want. So I'm going to make everything shared. Or I can say I want to make all my timing marks red. Those as well red. Just drag across. So you can drag across and change your timing marks and your colours. I can say, well, that timing mark's not very good. I'm going to move that. I'm going to move that timing mark. I'm going to move it all the way over here. So we can move our timing marks to where we want as well once we've developed it. They're not stuck and they're not fixed. We can move them. There's other ways we can create our timings, just playing through music and things like that. I can just click here and say insert timing rule. There we go. So you can just insert one right where you want as well. So there's several ways to do it. We can do it with the mouse, touch the mouse, like that, as we go with it as well. So a big range of ways to create your timings. Even though a lot of times you won't even have to create many of your timings anyway, because you might be using effects and things like that. So I'm just going to get rid of some of that. It would just be white. So that's basically just showing you some of the ways we can do the timing marks and how we work with timings. So now it's time to start saying, well, we want to start working with our sequence. So I'll just show you some of the basic effects first. As you see, that's turned on green because that's the green string and LSP sees it only as green. So that's why they've gone green and blue. Now if I go and I decide I want to turn my RGB on, we get this happens now because we're dealing with RGB, any colour. So I want to create that going from, say, blue. So that's blue. But I want to change that. I don't want it from blue to blue. I want to actually make it one colour to the other. So I'm going to click to the side there. So I want that side blue, I'm happy with that. And I'm going to click right here, and I want that red. So we've got a little transition of colour going across. Done. So transition of colour, straight done. So I've got my tree here, might turn that on blue, and what we'll do is we'll just shrink things, close that, and we'll have a quick look at that. Oh, we're playing, yeah, we didn't do it because we're playing with it. So I better slow that down actually, so we can actually see that. So we're slowing it right down. We can speed it up just by dragging the mouse. Right down to 10% if we want. So you move the mouse across this side. So this side is lower speed, this side's higher speed. down to 10%, so really slowing it right down. So you can really see if you've got your beats going right to the beat. We can say, let's loop back to play, and let's just play that section. So as you can see, the other tree there, it's got this mixture of colours. So that's how a lot of us would have our strings tied together in one line. So that's a good representation of your red, green and blue tree that a lot of people would have, traditionally have now. And you've got your other going and changing one colour to the other. So I'm going to zoom out a bit now. So zoom right in at that stage. So that's, and basically I'm going to just say, I'm going to just turn all this, just undo that, because I must have. I'm going to have a look, make sure my timing marks, yeah, because it was in red. I'm going to go to share. So I'm going to just turn that on now. I'm just going to have white. But what I'm going to say is, I don't want to keep hearing that. That's very annoying, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, I'm going to turn off the scrubbing virtualizer. Selection scrub. So now when I drag across, I don't have the music playing every time we drag across now. So people get annoyed with that, but sometimes you want to use it. So we can just speed it up too if we want. We can do anything when we play it. And so you get a good representation of how it's going. What I do is normally I won't even use the shared visualizer. Before I show the screen that was down here, so I close that before. I can close this here and just work on the full screen, but I want to get that back again. So I'm going to go to my Windows. I'm going to go to my Explorer, and that's back again. I'm going to close that now. I'm going to go to my Windows again, and I want my display preview. So there's my preview. Now for people who've got dual screens, this is great, because what you can do is drag that to your second screen, zoom it in so you can have a full screen. So we can open up. Oops, I lost it now, so I better make that happen again. So I can resize it and make it fit in that screen. So we're going to have that there on one screen and look at my grid the whole time while I'm playing back, so I can see both clearly and easily at the same time. But I'm not going to use that at the time because I've only got one monitor here. So I've now got that set up. So now I've been able to use all my screen there to basically, without having the stuff on the side. I don't want that because I want as much real estate with this resolution as I can get. So this time I've got these on here and I've got these on here, but I want to blend between those two channels here. I can use, you've got a bunch of effects here, and I can say, okay, I might just use the on. Get rid of that slow speed that's playing. And I'm going to loop back and... Alright. So now I'm going to go to my effects. So I select this area here. And auto blend. So as you see, it's automatically blended between here and there. So it's automatically said, oh, okay, there was a red there, so we'll just auto blend across. Even just using the on. We do have the fill button. So I can just go like this and just fill there. And it fills in. We can use the fill again to go auto blend fill. So there's a lot of just basic normal tools that we can use. If I had, if I was the person that had the moving head, different moving headlights, I can say, okay, and I can set up a controller for its XY axis. So I'm just going to use this as an example here. So now it's asking me, here's my make that larger if I want. And I'm going to set XY path for my lights. So I want my lights to move like that. So that's going to move your moving head to different positions and automatically map that there for you. Just an example of how you can use moving heads as well without having to manually put sensitivities and things like that. Of course, you have to adjust the calibration of the software to match your moving head, because all moving heads are different. But the ability, once you've got that set, you can then just use that tool to use your moving heads. So now we're at this situation here where we want to start really getting into our sequencing. But I'm lazy. I want to touch the grid. So I want to create a chase around my non-RGB tree, going around. But I don't want to do it touching the grid. I want to do it using the effects that Lightshape Pro allows me to do. So I'm going to then go to my Now, I'm going to create a new layer for my mega tree green, my mega tree red, and my mega tree blue. Because what I want to do is, I want to be able to go around the tree. And I don't want to go just across the tree. So the difference between it is, if I go across the tree, it's just a standard tree. But if I want to go around the tree, it's saying, well, treat it like a matrix. Because really, the tree is just like a matrix. This one is just a 1x16 matrix. And that's why it's developed the matrix before what we did before, when it automatically created a matrix for it. So I'm going to create some new layers here. Red. Green. Blue. So I'm going to link that to the green layer. Link that to my red layer. Link that to my blue layer. So now I can get rid of that if I want. Nothing shows, but if I go red, there's only my red layer there. So I can only just work with my red layer if I wish to. But what I'll do is, I'm just going to show all, because it doesn't really matter at the moment. And I'm going to create a trace. So I want to create my chase. I'm going to create a red, green and blue chase. So I'm just going to drag across here. So I want my chase to go that long. I'm going to use a macro to do this. Macros, I want you to use with layers. Now, you can't use macros or the transitions if you haven't drawn it. You need to draw it, because what happens is Lightshape Pro has physically, the location of those trees I've drawn, it has physically mapped those locations in my display. So if you've got a picture of your house with your gutter here, your window frames here, a tree over here or whatever there, you draw it to the right dimensions, to the right location. Because when I do a sweep across my house, Lightshape Pro knows the location then of everything. So it will create a sweep across your house and automatically populate it based on the location of every line. So a chase is really easy to do. Many of you would have seen my display, and I've used rainbow sweeps and things like that. Very easy to do. And requires no effort as far as touching the grid to do that. So I'm going to use the colour slider macro effect because that's, I want to slide a colour across. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to then go and click on the gradient because I want to create the kind of slide I want. So you've got these bunch of slides here. And I'm going to just use one of these as the default of what I want to do. So I'm just going to use a simple one first here. But I'm going to create a new one because if I just modify that one now and I go to use it later, then you'll have troubles because you're trying to use a default one that you've modified and you try to use it again later and you modify it again, then you're going to have problems because you've modified it once and you modify it again. So if you go to reuse it later, it's going to cause you some grief. So we'll just go new, and there it is down there. So I want red, so I come here and I just come down here and the hand comes up. We can add new points here. So I'm going to start off with black. Until that I want it to be black. My red first, go to black again. Then I want it to go to green. Can we remove them as well like that? See, I'm just removing that, it's coming back. Green, make sure it's a full green I want it to be. Turn that to black again. And we're going to go to blue. And we'll go to black again here. So what we've done here is we've just created a 3-colour chase. How's that going to work with our tree? So what I'm going to do is, I'm happy with that chase, the way that chase looks. I can preview that. Unfortunately, it's a very low resolution because it gets down here that I can't get to, unfortunately. So that's the slide I've just created. So I'm going to have a slide from left to right. Off screen, you can change the direction, right, up, down. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit OK, which I can't really see because I've got such a crappy low resolution. It's a bit frustrating. It must be 640. It's very low resolution, unfortunately. Much lower than the last one I had. So this is going to cause me some grief, I think.
Properties.
What's that?
You go to properties, you can tell it's auto hide. Auto hide test.
Problem is, as soon as I go down, it's going to go. So I'm happy with that. But guess what it's going to do this time?
Do you have to name the macros?
Yeah, you name the macros because, what's that?
Did you name the macro?
You can name it if you want. I didn't name it, I just had it the same name that was already there. So now it's building a transition over that layer. So while they're building them, you can ask some questions like this is building if you want.
So what's the difference between that effect and the chaser effect button on top?
Chaser effect is a bit more difficult to use because what it does is you have to think a bit more about it. It's an older tool, and when you've got newer tools that can do much more, I don't use it because you have to divide the amount of timing marks by the amount of thing because it'll automatically populate the timing marks across. So but we don't want to do, we want the Light Show Pro to work out our timing marks for it instead. So what I'm trying to show is a different way, the easier way. Because Lightshade Pro's got a lot of things in there from previous, when it was in its infancy, that we use. This is an old computer, it's not running slow. I was actually using one of those Surface Pros with Lightshade Pro. Much quicker than this, much quicker than this. So it's only picked the red there. But because I didn't make it to a matrix, let's just get my visualizer in. This is going to be, I want to apologise, people, because this, I'm not going to be able to show exactly what I want to show because of the resolution I've got here. I don't know what resolution monitor is. It's not the same projector we used the other day. I could show everything here. I can't show it because it's reduced the screen to too low a resolution. So it must be a very low resolution that we're running at. And it's clipping everything down the bottom here. So this is a bit worrying. I might have to try and change projectors here. As I said, I can't get down there. Because all our monitors and computers have much better resolution than this. So at the moment, I think it's a 640 by 480 or something like that. And that's why nothing we use these days is that resolution. So it's not designed to be run on that kind of low resolution. Something I should have checked before, but it said yesterday on Friday, didn't have that problem with the other projector. So what I'm going to end up doing is, once we go for break, I'm going to try and see if we can get the other projector, because this is useless. Can't really show you what I want to do here. It's very frustrating for me. So just sticking in one here that I can do there. No, doesn't matter. We've got other things, so I'll just continue with other things until after the break. I'll go get the other projector and we can fix that up and then I'll show you all the things. So I'll have to go and move on to some other things at the moment. So can't use these macros at the moment. So what I'm going to do is show you chases instead. Manual make and show chases. I manually create a chase in the grid. So I want to create a chase, a green chase in the grid. I'm going to then create an effect that I want. So I'm going to go on, and I'm just going to create an effect, a ramp up and ramp down effect. So I've got a ramp up and ramp down effect. I'm going to copy that now. Geez, it's hard to work with this resolution, it really is. I'm going to copy it with Control-C, or I can copy it with here. Alright, so now I'm going to hold my Shift button down. Hold my Shift button down. But I can't get the bottom here. It's a low resolution, so I'm just going to use the scroll mouse button. Oops. Hit my right mouse button, didn't I? Start again. So I get to the bottom there. Very poor resolution here to work with. Alright, so I want to create my chase going from top to bottom. I can go vice versa, up and down. I can go across the other way if I want. So now we get this option here. Do I want to do a linear chase, an ease in out, ease out chase, ease in chase, or ease in out chase? So I'm going to do an ease out chase. Here's my ease out chase, done. My green. I can do the same for blue or for red. Hold the shift button down. Actually, this time I'm going to do it the other way. Start from the bottom. And I'm going to do an ease in. Because I started from the bottom, it ends up looking the same because it's an ease in. Alright, so I've just done the opposite, but it looks the same. I want to do another chase on that red going the other way. I'm having difficulties here, guys, with this low resolution. Can't wait till the break comes so I can get this fixed up because with this low resolution, it's like working on something that's just not used to here. I don't know what I've done here. I'm going to copy that again. So it's damn difficult to work with this kind of resolution at the moment. So what I'm going to do actually, to change that, what I'll do is, so I'm going to work with the grid a bit better. I'm going to go to way effects, and I'll zoom out, I'll zoom in. Zoom out, zoom in. We can scale up, scale down, so I'm going to scale down. Oops. So now I get to see a bit more now. But it's pretty hard just to work with when it's that fine now. But I've got that option to zoom in and zoom out. So that's a bit better to work with the police for me. So again, I'm just going to copy this again because I must have pressed something to make it not have it in memory. And this time I'm going to go to the bottom. Here. Things out. There we go. Bang. I'd actually copy that too by the looks of things. Copy both, but that's how you do your chases. You can do different chases, all types of chases. You create one single element first, or one single cell. You'll use one single cell first. Create the kind of chase you want the chase to be. So I can say, okay, this time I just want it on and off. So I'm going to go this way again. I'm just going to make that a linear chase. And there we go. So you can make all sorts of chases manually if you want through the grid. I said I'm going to show you how to do chases once I fix this problem up in the next session on how to use chases without actually even touching the grid. Because at the moment I can't really do much with my macros because I can't really get to the screen. The low resolution I'm dealing with. So as you see, chases are pretty easy to do here. I might as well do my blue one while I'm here. Done. So chases very quick and easy to do. Not a problem at all. So we'll go back. So we've got different effects here. You've got your shimmer effects. So if I wanted to now change the intensity of something. So I'm going to select that. Oops. Go to its properties. I'm having a hard time. Geez, I wish I had my own computer here. So I can change my intensity levels. It's not even come up properly, but I can change the intensity level here. So I want to go to 50% intensity. Okay? So now if I go on, mind you, I'm using an alpha version here, and I don't know why I'm having to use an alpha version, but there's some little issues here that's still going to be worked out. But the one I've got at home is not like this. So I'm going to change the intensity again. So now my intensities will all be that level that I'm using. This time I want to change my intensity again. Properties, back to 100%. And now when I go on, they go to 100%. So that's how we're just basically just using the grid to work with our different elements within our tree.
Is there a ramp up on the intensity?
Yep. Ramp top. See all this? It's got all these. That's just because of the alpha version. If you use the downloaded version, it won't come up with all this ramp type, ramp in, ramp out, ramp type, you know what I mean? So we can go start at 50% now. So you control your ramp in and your ramp out. So I want to go to 50. And my ramp out. So I'm going to turn something that was actually a ramp up. Now it's going to be basically a ramp down. So if I then go and do that effect again, and I go ramp up, I can do ramp types too. A shimmer ramp type and a twinkle ramp type. So that's now giving us a shimmer ramp type. So we're going to do ramps with shimmers, with twinkle. Now, with Lightorama, shimmer and twinkle is actually within the controller. Shimmer and twinkle is actually software generated here. So, just giving you a couple of ideas here. I really wanted to show the macros. It's really driving me insane having such a low resolution to deal with. So I'm just trying to think of things I'm going to show you now, because it's damaged my plan. I had a plan for everyone. We can go to, what we might do is just configure these outputs, because we can do that now. We can go through the configure outputs, because a lot of people want to understand, how do you configure E1.31? How do you configure a universe to something? So at the moment I've got a whole bunch of things, because that's what Ron's got on his computer. Heaps of things. So, he's using E1. So that control is Lightorama. We can then control Lightorama with different channels. So you've got your controller, you can set your Lightorama universes, so we can configure that output. It's not connected, so it's going to say, well, you don't have one connected, so it doesn't exist. I've got my E1.31. And we come to here to this screen. Now remember, I started this controller down here, my RGB 1.31 controller, at channel 10,000. So I want that to be start at channel 10,000. And I'm going to make each universe I'm going to split that controller so you get 512 channels per universe. I'm going to split that up over 800 channels. I'm going to split that over 2 universes. So I'm going to say 400 channels per universe. I said I'll just use what he's got here. I said I don't know why he's got so many things here. But because I've got all these other universes saying you haven't allocated any addresses for this. I've activated, and I haven't allocated anything for it. So we go multicast. I can right click in here, and I can use multicast, or unicast, and set the IP address of where I want to connect to.